Why is it considered rude to bring a book to a party, but perfectly normal to stare at a phone? My partner never wants me to have a book in my pocket if we're going somewhere with people. Sometimes there's no conversation that is relevant for me and I would like a little break. I understand that's why people take their phones out at parties. But a paperback is apparently totally different. Prolonged phone use is also frowned upon. I don't see a book as a huge problem. But people usually already have their phone on them. A book would mean you at least somewhat plan on not being social. I agree with the comments saying the premeditation aspect makes it rude. But if you really want to take a break socializing and read, you can try putting ebooks on your phone. Get the Kindle app. My brother in Christ, just download a book on your phone. It's a matter of intention. People bring their phones everywhere. So, having it at a party is normal, and does not, in itself, indicate that you plan to stare at it. People rarely carry books around. So, if you have it with you at a party, that indicates that you were planning to stare at it, and ignore the people around you. A phone is something you would incidentally have with you due to all of its standard functions. Entertainment on your phone is also designed around quick little bites of entertainment. Whereas a book is something you would bring with the express purpose of reading instead of engaging with people, and generally isn't meant to be enjoyed for like a minute at a time. A book is an indication that you came to the party without any intention of interaction with others, and can be seen as telling others you want to be left alone. Both are rude. Who says it's perfectly normal to stare at a phone at a party? I actively make fun of those people. Maybe it's a cultural difference, but in my country someone who brings a book to a party is someone who seeks attention at all costs. Not to mention that they would consider him a snob or similar. It is socially accepted to use your cell phone to take a break from socializing a bit. Why don't you download the book on your cell phone? A book shows your expectations of the party. It means you've made an effort to prepare to not socialize. Is it seen as normal though? I guess so these days. If you come to party to stare at your phone all night, don't come. Either socialize or let him go alone. He doesn't need to explain to 5 people why you're being weird every time you pull out a book. You're making him look bad in an implicitly social environment. You may be neurodivergent or ironically need social training if you can't see the problem. Both rude, but a book is premeditated rudeness. Bringing a book, you're saying you're expecting things to get boring. Going on your phone says it's getting a bit boring, but it doesn't say you expedite to be as. Everyone is expected to carry their phones on them nowadays. I feel you. I do wish it was socially acceptable to bring a book to parties. I would go out a lot more and decide if I am interested in the conversations or not as they go. Instead, I simply skip on social interaction by fear of getting bored to death. Unless I know exactly who is coming and have a great level of confidence that the discussion will be interesting enough. One things I learned is to simply excuse myself and go back home early when I stuck in such a situation. Better than staying there for a couple hours saying only a couple of words and grunts and having an awful time. If someone is just scrolling their phone mindlessly at a party, I think that's pretty rude personally. Why even go if not to interact and mentally be there? If you use Kindle, you can read a book while checking your phone. Works like a charm. This feels like a quirky, nobody gets me Tumblr Gall post: it's rude because you're coming to a social situation and using something that's sole purpose in this scenario is to disengage. Nobody is going to want to talk to you or try and include you back in the convo if you're reading. It's a pretty clear don't bother me signal. At that point, why even be out? Neither are fine, honestly. Phone's probably more rude though, in my opinion. It is. Reading a book leaves no space for others. You won't call some friend to check this sick paragraph. On the other hand, with phone you could be watching YouTube or reading Reddit, and in case something cool comes up you can share it with others. Just looking at this logically, in my opinion, do what you want with your time. My big secret: I have the Libby and Kindle apps on my phone and just use that and read wherever I am. Sometimes you just want to do something quiet, but be surrounded by people. There's nothing wrong with that. Who doesn't think it's rude to be staring at your phone while people are trying to talk to you? I've never known it to be perfectly normal to stare at a phone whilst at a party. Staring at phone for more than a few seconds is not perfectly normal in most social situations. Shouldn't be playing on your phone either, tbh. Ebooks on your phone. Scribd, Kindle, the Books app on iPhone all have pretty good selections. And you can just read a little bit and still socialize. Although I would much rather read a book at most parties, being the introvert I am. This is just a bad look. You can also read a book on your phone. It's the perception of it. You see someone reading a book and you know that it would be rude to interrupt them without good reason. So it is very odd to bring a book to an environment that is specifically intended to encourage interaction with others. Nobody has that expectation with a phone unless they are actually on a call, so if anything, staring at a phone at a party is practically an invitation to be approached. Both are rude. Why do you have a partner who isn't like, "That's my book reading weirdo at this party over there"? That's all I have to say. You do you. Knit like the regal chick in the beginning party of War and Peace. Just read your book on your phone. People's weird distinctions between reading on your phone and reading a physical book have always confused me. I would just say roll with it and get the Kindle Unlimited app. A book is a multi-hour commitment no matter how fast you read. A phone can be 5 secs. Why can you wear swimwear at the beach but not at the office if it's hot? Why are men expected to not like pink? Why is it considered rude to ask how much someone earns? A lot of these things are just social conventions that are specific to a particular culture, time, and situation. I don't think there is a logical explanation for these. Just a historical one. For example, among people I know, it's fine to bring a book to read if you're hanging out at the beach. So I really can't see any reason other than convention that it's not considered okay at parties. It would be considered rude if you were watching a movie on your phone or unironically reading a book. I don't think it's normal to stare at a phone, and I'd address it if I saw it, depending on the size of the gathering. You don't want to look like a nerd, do ya? Lol, I bet OP was homeschooled, haha. You know why it's not socially acceptable and you are being a donkey. Phones are meant for quick glances and can be put down quickly. It can take a person a minute to find a good place in a book to stop reading. Book means you plan on not being social, period, which I have no problem with. Because I do that all the time.